As promised, today we are crushing those ugly frame generation artifacts in Cyberpunk 2077 once and for all. If you've been struggling with ghosting and visual bugs, you are in the right place. Today, we're testing a game-changing method using the fresh OptiScaler 0.10 Pre-1 build paired up with DLSS Frame Generation. We're pitting this new pre-release directly against the old DLSS Enabler setup, and showing you how stacking them together unlocks an even smoother, cleaner experience. I'm breaking down everything step by step so you can replicate it easily. So let's dive into the video. First up, let's jump straight into installing this OptiScaler 0.10 mod. Now, keep in mind, you won't easily find this specific build on Google right now because it's still a fresh pre-released build in the testing phase. Once the devs officially wrap it up, they'll drop it on the main GitHub releases page, like always. But if you want to get early access and test it out right now, I've got you covered. Just hit the direct GitHub link I dropped in the pinned comment below. After download the mode file, follow along step by step, and let's get OptiScaler 0.10 Pre-1 installed. Once you download the OptiScaler 0.10 Pre-1 zip file, drop it onto your desktop and open it up with WinRAR or 7-zip. Inside, you'll see three files: the OptiScaler folder, OptiScaler.ini, and OptiScaler.dll. You need to drag and drop all three right into your Cyberpunk 2077 game directory where the main Cyberpunk 2077.exe lives. To find that exact path, navigate to your Cyberpunk 2077 main folder, go into bin, and then open x64. Right here next to Cyberpunk 2077.exe is where you paste those mod files. Quick heads up. If you have any older version of DLSS Enabler or OptiScaler installed, delete those files completely first. Otherwise, your game will crash or the mod just won't hook. Alright, after removing older mod files, now just extract the new OptiScaler mod files into this path folder. Once extracted, rename OptiScaler.dll to DXGI. If DXGI doesn't hook on your specific setup, try renaming it to WinM or version instead. For my system, DXGI works like a charm. Alright guys, now that the main mod is set up, open up that OptiScaler folder. Inside, you'll find a folder named Streamline. This folder is packed with the latest updated DLL files for DLSS upscaling, DLSS Frame Generation, and DLSS Ray Reconstruction. We need to copy all these files straight into that same folder where Cyberpunk 2077.exe is located. Now, why is this step so critical? If your game is running on older NVIDIA DLSS or FrameGen DLL versions, that version mismatch will cause game crashes, stuttering, and overall instability. Before hitting replace, always make a backup copy of your game's original DLL files. Just paste them into a separate folder on your game folder. That way, if anything goes sideways, you can easily swap your original files back with zero hassle. Alright, now you selected all the files inside the Streamline folder, paste them right here, and hit replace the files in the destination. Now head over to Nexus Mod and grab the latest DLSS Enabler 4.8.13. Once it's downloaded, open the zip file with WinRAR or 7-zip. Jump back to your Cyberpunk 2077 game directory, open up the OptiScaler folder, and extract these files right inside. You'll see an older DLL file named DLSS-Enabler-Headless.dll. Go ahead and delete that old file, then rename the new DLSS Enabler file to DLSS-Enabler-Headless. Just a heads up, you don't need to type .dll manually, since Windows handles file extensions automatically. The mod setup is completely done. Now we just have a few quick Windows and GPU tweaks for properly handle the frame generation. First, right-click on your desktop, go to Display Settings, scroll down to Graphics, and click Change Advanced Graphics Settings. Right here, make sure Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling is toggled on. If you're running FrameGen, this setting is non-negotiable. Next, open up the NVIDIA app, head over to Graphics. Select your Cyberpunk 2077 profile and locate Program Settings, Vertical Sync. Set Vertical Sync to Fast Sync or use the 3D Application setting. I highly recommend Fast Sync to prevent the screen tearing with minimal input lag. Also, make sure Low Latency mode is flipped on. If you want to use DLSS override presets, you can pick your model right here. Pick Custom and switch to Preset K for DLSS 4. If you want to choose DLSS 4.5, go with Preset M or Preset L. I personally use Preset L, so I'll lock that in. Now our driver tweaks are locked and loaded. Let's close the NVIDIA app and jump to the game. Alright guys, when you launch the game for the very first time with this mod, it might crash once in a while, so don't panic. If that happens, just hit Ctrl+Shift+Escape to open Task Manager, and check if Cyberpunk 2077.exe is still hanging around in the background. If it is, the game won't relaunch until you select it and hit End Task. Once you clear that out, launch the game up again. When it boots up, you'll spot a clean little notification banner at the bottom confirming that the mod loaded successfully. Now, let's lock in the graphics settings. Head into Settings, Graphics, and set your upscaling method to DLSS. Pick your preferred quality mode. I personally using Balanced mode. Leave the in-game frame generation toggle off. We're going to unlock FrameGen directly through the OptiScaler menu instead. And also, if Ray Reconstruction is toggled on, go ahead and turn that off as well. Next, make sure to disable Depth of Field, Motion Blur, and Film Grain. These post-processing features cause nasty visual artifacts and blurriness when multiplied with frame generation. Once all those settings are tweaked, hit Apply and let's drop straight into gameplay. Once you load into gameplay, press the Insert key on your keyboard. This will bring up the OptiScaler overlay menu on your screen. Under the Frame Generation section, set FG Input to Opti Upscaler and FG Output to DLSSG NVNGX_G. Once selected, click the Save Settings button under the menu, close the menu, exit to desktop, and relaunch the game. After relaunching, load back into gameplay and press Insert again. You'll see that your FG input and FG output settings have been saved correctly. Now, select the upscaler method that best matches your GPU. Since I'm using an RTX 30 series graphics card, I'll stick with DLSS. Scrolling down under the DLSS Frame Generation section, you'll find the FrameGen multiplier slider and the Activate button. Let's select the 4x multiplier and click Activate. You might experience a brief initial stutter or freeze when it toggles on, but it will smooth out after a few seconds. Next, scroll down further to the Active Dispatch Flag section and check only the specific settings I'm highlighting here on screen. Finally, head over to the FPS Overlay tab, check the Overlay box, and set it to Detailed so you can monitor your FPS real time. Now let's test the gameplay and check if those visual artifacts are still noticeable. Alright guys, take a close look at these results. Compared to our previous DLSSG to FSRFG method, the UI element jittering we notice when using higher multipliers is completely gone now. Aim flickering is also significantly reduced compared to FSR Frame Gen. Now, let's talk about the biggest headache for most players: car ghosting. With this mod, we can reduce it drastically, but there's an important point I need to clarify. Car ghosting becomes noticeably worse mainly when ray reconstruction is enabled. Look closely at this footage here. I have both ray tracing and ray reconstruction turned on, and you can clearly spot the ghosting behind the car. Unfortunately, there's no complete fix for this specific issue yet. Your best workaround is to either turn off ray reconstruction or lower your frame gen multiplier to minimize artifacts. Keep in mind, this ghosting only pops up while driving during general gameplay. Everything runs completely fine. If it still bothers you, simply disable ray tracing and ray reconstruction. This gives your GPU some breathing room while delivering a much smoother top-tier experience overall. So, that's how you properly set up OptiScaler 0.10 for Cyberpunk 2077 or any other supported title. Toggling those advanced settings under Active Dispatch, as I showed earlier, makes a massive difference in eliminating artifacts since we're leveraging official DLSS Frame Generation implementation. As mentioned, the only drawback right now is car ghosting with ray reconstruction, but since this mod is still in its pre-release testing phase, we can expect further improvements in future updates. Please make sure you don't skip any steps in this video. Every single detail is crucial if you want the mod to install and function properly without issues. Many people skip through the video and then drop comments asking questions that were already covered. I've included timestamps in the description for your convenience, so please watch carefully and reach out in the comments only if you still run into trouble. I really hope this guide helps you get the best possible performance out of your setup. Today's video ran a bit longer than usual, but I wanted to explain every critical detail thoroughly, because missing these exact steps is what usually leads to game crashes and mod failures. Follow this guide step by step, and if you still have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll gladly help you out. Thank you so much to everyone who stayed until the end. Until next time with another Frame Generation tutorial, take care and have a great day.